folks, Canadian Prepper here. The purpose of this video is mainly going to be for some quick shout-outs, but I just wanted to quickly show you this book called The Total Gun Manual. It's by Field & Stream, David E. Petzel and Phil Bergelli. Really good book. A lot of these Field & Stream books are a little hokey. You know, they're a little too basic for a lot of people who are already into the survival thing. But this one actually is really good. It goes into considerable depth, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of things that experienced gun owners don't even know about. It's a bit opinionated. You know, it's not presented in the sort of official way that you would expect with a book like this. But that also makes it more enjoyable to read, and it's a great dip-in reader. Like, it's not something you're kind of going to read the whole thing from front to back. You're just going to dip in. But really good book, and the illustrations are excellent. So check it out. Anyways, right to the shoutouts. And before I, do these shoutouts, I just want to post a disclaimer that, I don't necessarily agree with everybody I give a shout out to politically, religiously, philosophically, whatever, all those things. But there's always something to be learned from everybody. And even if I found that even if you're staunchly opposed to somebody, ideologically or what have you, you can still learn things from those people. And even armies of the past who've conquered places would always try to absorb all the knowledge of the culture that they conquered. They just didn't outright reject it. That would be logistically stupid to do that. So some of the people I'm going to refer you today aren't even people I perhaps agree with ideologically or politically, but there's something to be learned from everybody, I suppose, especially your enemies. And I'm by no means saying that the people I'm going to be referring you today are my enemies in any way. And even if they were, I probably wouldn't let them know that. But, and that's just some, wisdom for you, I suppose. But I just wanted to say also, what was I going to say? I recognize that I'm a small channel, so I realize that nobody's channel depends on my shout-outs and stuff like that. But just the importance of networking, General Banter, who's the first person I'm going to give a shout out to, who's been giving me a lot of support in the last couple months and has extended the offer to do some real-time chat, with things, and I do appreciate that. I am going to take you up on that. So one of these days here, General, as soon as I get the chance to do that, been sort of just squeezing these videos in when I can. But he really, got me thinking about the importance of networking, especially with the smaller channels. There's the big channels which have been around for 5-7 years that get a lot of airplay, namely because they've been around for that long. It's, they do have some quality content, but a lot of them are sort of just riding on the subscriber base that they sort of achieved in the first part of YouTube, where there really wasn't many people talking about this stuff. And I suppose that does, say a lot with respect to their foresight and their knowledge. But, I do think that it's good for small channels to refer one another, just so we can, all sort of expand our subscriber base and also, increase the dialogue, because it's really only down here in the lower echelons of the YouTube game that you can have really any sort of substantial dialogue with people. And I can understand why, because obviously when you have a subscriber base of over 10,000 people, it becomes very hard to field even a small fraction of the comments. So anyways, enough rambling. So General Banter, I just want to thank you for your shout out video recently and all the support and from his subscribers. Fellow Canadian, always good to have a fellow Canadian on board. And check out his channel. He does some live videos where he really tries to discuss everything SHTF, so to speak, with a lot of YouTubers who are, who are very well known in the underground sort of thing in our circle. Another one is North Carolina Prepper. I don't really comment a lot on a lot of his videos, but he's always doing really, really self-sufficient. That's the only way I can put it. Really, everything he does is he tries to do it by hand. Just check out his channel. He's got a lot of stuff, and he really actually does try to do the things by hand that other people wouldn't think about. Another one is Notregme. He's a fellow Canadian. Puts out an insane amount of videos, and they're all like hours long. Pretty smart guy, pretty, articulate with some of his ideas. Once again, I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but, he's got a lot of, in between the 10 videos that he puts out every day, there's usually a couple good gems in there, so definitely check that out. And it's kind of good commentary. I sort of listen to it like I do talk radio or something like that, so I don't really need something to look at when I'm watching these videos, so long as the information is good. Also want to send a shout out to Irish Hiberniason, or Hiberniason. Still, we don't really touch on a lot of the stuff we would disagree with ideologically and politically. I did, there was some drama that happened in the past there that I tried to sort of mediate, but, whatever, that's under the bridge. But he definitely presents his perspectives well and respectfully, and they're all well articulated, so check out his channel. But, like everything, watch everything critically. Prepper Recon is another channel. I think it's a radio show channel, and there's always, topics. It's kind of like a coast-to-coast AM, but about prepping, so check out that channel. Yankee Self-Sufficiency. I know lots of people have issues with Yankee Self-Sufficiency, but, I kind of like, he's got a lot of zeal with what he says. And, I appreciate critical perspectives because they get me thinking. When I see a video that challenges preppers on some level, I enjoy that because that evolves my perspective about prepping. So check out Yankee Self-Sufficiency. He's got probably 50,000 subscribers anyways. Not like my very small subscriber base would even put a dent in that, but check him out. The Prepared Mind. Lots of people know about him. Just another guy who likes to, sort of theorize about what things might be like in a post-disaster environment. I'm not using the term post-collapse environment. I know some people are starting to get onto that, but I think post-disaster is more appropriate because not every disaster is a collapse. Anyways, check out Prepared Mind. It's got lots of good commentary. Him and General S. Lee were General S. Lee's older stuff. Now it's kind of, I don't know, he's not really putting much energy into it, it seems. But if you go and look at his older stuff, it's really good. It's really, he presents it well. And it's just theorizing about what might happen. And for me, I like that kind of stuff. I'm a creative person. I'm an ideas person. I never take what people say on here as fact. Also want to send a shout out to one of my subscribers, Bullfrog Prepper, who has been giving me a lot of good movie. He stumped me. He's one of the few people who was able to stump me. And I did that movie video recently where I posted about 80 post-apocalyptic or disaster survival films. And you sent me a few, and they were actually pretty decent. I just watched one called Aftermath the other day, which was pretty good. So thanks for your recommendations. Also want to recommend Wim Hof, and he was the subject of the last video that I did about the Tumo yoga and how to basically survive in cold weather using his method. He does have a channel, and he doesn't have a lot of subscribers right now, so get him while he's still in his infancy in his channel, and maybe you can even strike up some dialogue. I also want to send a shout out to the Peaceful Prepper, who I just like her videos. You know, you can tell she really puts a lot of information into them, and they're very structured and they're very well produced. So definitely check out her video. She also has a very sort of I don't know, just a chilled out sort of demeanor in her voice and stuff like that. So it's not all sensationalist in your face like a Dabu 7, every video is world's gonna end type shit. But yeah, check out her channel. Also going to recommend the Prepper Nurse. Not all her topics are you know, ado with the same level of, you know, collapse preparedness, but definitely touches on a variety of topics, all of which do have some pertinence to prepping and survivalism and stuff like that. There's another one, Pockets of the Future. He did a lot of commentaries back in the day, and hour-long commentaries about, you know, why he thinks that society's on the brink of collapse and stuff like that, and why he's chosen to do this off-grid homesteading type lifestyle. And definitely more of a leftist perspective, although I'm sure he'd probably say it was libertarian, but it most definitely will come off as, you know, more of the hippie mentality, which, you know, I have no problem with that personally. I mean, to each their own. The difference of opinion is what this whole thing, this whole freedom thing is about. So, but check out his channel. Greenpowerscience, always really good. They got a lot of subscribers, so they don't need my shout outs, but definitely a channel worth tuning into if you want some ideas about renewable energy sources using parabolic mirrors and solar power and stuff like that. Far North Bushcraft and Survival, second to Wilderness Outfitters, the best bushcraft channel, I think, out there in terms of the presentation and the novel ideas that Lonnie presents. Definitely check out that channel. Grey Archer 1, probably one of the best channels for traditional archery that you're going to find on YouTube for instinctive archery. So check that one out. Mezilch, for all the fear gear buffs out there. This guy's like the, I don't know, he makes urban preppers OCD about bug out bags and ECD look, you know, very minor. He's just, he puts so much work into his Altoid stuff, and I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but you're definitely going to get some good ideas from him. He's not open to comments. I'm not sure what his rationale is for that. Probably just doesn't want the drama, which is understandable, but whatever he's doing, it's worked out for him. Also, 8-digit PDX was the one who told me about the Seek Thermal, and I watched one of his videos recently, and it was all about, you know, just a bunch of different philosophical things, and you can definitely tell that he's a thoughtful individual worth paying some attention to, and he's been doing this prepping thing for long enough that, you know, the lingo and stuff has become second nature, and, you know, he might not even come off as a prepper, because unlike a lot of these sort of phony dime a dozen gear channels that have been popping up, he's not really selling himself as that specifically, but definitely a good channel to keep in mind. And who else? I guess I'll give a shout out to Seller559. Definitely has some good info in a lot of his channels. He's definitely living the life, the farm life. So I mean, if you have any questions about farm life and prepping, you know, he's did a video recently about cattle herding and you know, that kind of thing. So and being a post-apocalyptic pastoral nomad of sorts, whatever you want to call it, but definitely a good channel. I don't necessarily share the same interest in the religious side of things, but once again, to each their own. So that said, I guess that's pretty much it for today. I've sent a lot of shout outs to people in the past, so I just want to send another shout out to Dougbass 654. because definitely a lot of the critiques that he's put forth against the prepping community have been thought-provoking, and I would encourage people to do that. So let me know what you think, and if you have any other channel recommendations, particularly by way of the theoretical stuff. I like, hearing people's perspectives on how things might play out theoretically in PDE, post-disaster environments, if you will. I know a lot of people think that that's a little hokey, but, some people listen to talk radio about who won the game yesterday. I like to listen to, post-disaster theory. So maybe it's just a sociological thing. I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be a class on it someday. No doubt there's going to be a class on zombie apocalypse someday in these in between lesbian basket weaving and some other ultra specific thing like that. But hey, check out the Total Gun Manual if you guys get a chance. Really great dip-in reader. Probably would be a good Christmas gift for somebody who's, even for, like I say, for the advanced gun owner. There's a lot of useful tips in here that, I'm sure they wouldn't have thought of, particularly by way of hunting and hunting techniques and for different animals, like they get into each type of animal, and none of the guns I own are in here. So, but anyways, check that out, and keep on tuning in to Canadian Prepper. I appreciate all the support, the subs, and all the feedback, so keep it coming. I'm always learning stuff from things that you guys say, and please, by all means, for those of you who are very outspoken in the comments, please do VRs, because it'd be cool to just hear what you have to say, minus the text. So feel free to do that. Thanks for watching.